Hey everyone, it's me, Jeff. I've got a little voluntary vignette for you. Specifically, I'd like to make a book recommendation. Now, I know a lot of you have seen The Hunger Games, hopefully read them, because the movies are awful. Sorry for fans of the movies, but it's true. The book is so much better. What a lot of people don't know, and I'm not surprised because the advertising campaign around it wasn't very big, but Suzanne Collins actually wrote a prequel to The Hunger Games. And it's called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snake. It's really good. It's thicker than the Hunger Games books individually, not all together. She wrote it just 2019, I think. But it's really good because the Hunger Games, of course, underneath the action, adventure, and the slightly fantastic setup of things, there's very real commentary on the power of the state and its dangers against individual liberty. Something that is really fascinating about that book is about the Hunger Games books is President Snow, the bad guy, and the reasons that he gives about why he keeps the Hunger Games going. Now, in this prequel, Suzanne Collins has the protagonist of the story as President Snow when he's young. So, this is really interesting because it lets you see in this book how he came to be the kind of person who would willingly send children to die in order to keep the state strong. There are some really interesting things as he's learning about the Hunger Games are just starting as the book is going on. And it's really interesting, his mentor, one of his mentors, gives as the reason the games are needed is because it lets people see what things would be like in a state of nature, or in other words, if there was no government keeping everyone in check. She says that things would be just like you see in the arena, children slaughtering each other in the streets, and it would be complete chaos. Everyone would be dying, there'd be no rules whatsoever. But of course, that, as I was reading it, I thought, well, that's what she's telling the protagonist. But that's not the case at all. Like so many things the government tells us today, it was the government that caused that problem in the first place. The government is the one who put the children into the arena and gave them weapons and told them they had to kill each other in order to survive. And that's what they're giving as the example of why people can't be trusted with power and why you need the government, because of the situation that the government set up. Now, there's a lot of stuff that you can take out of that, but it's also especially useful in this, poignant, you could say, in this time of pandemics and government control, where the government locks down the economy, puts millions of people out of business, and then they say, well, where would you be without us to protect you? When their misinformation and propaganda and rules are what caused the majority of the problem in the first place. Not saying that certain unspecified viruses of unknown origins may not be real, but it's absolute fact that what the government has done has made things so much worse than it possibly could have been otherwise. Much like imprisoning children and telling them they have to kill each other and saying, well, that's just what would happen if we weren't here to protect you. It really is quite amazing the things that the government can get away with. And what's also interesting is the protagonist, Snow. Coriolanus is his first name. Shakespeare fans will catch that. As you get to see, because as the book starts, you can see that he seems like an okay guy. He kind of has some self-centered tendencies, and you can see that he's a bit of a sociopath. Doesn't particularly care about other people's feelings, at least not more than superficially. And you can really see how the setup of the government feeds into his ego and his desire for power and changes him from just a relatively harmless, ambitious kid who doesn't really care too much about others to the bloodthirsty, cold, calculating, mass-murdering villain who is the antagonist of the Hunger Games. And you can see that it was the availability of that power and control in the government that did that to him. The existence of the state not only destroys the people that it subjects, but also those who rule. And you can see that really clearly in this book. On top of the lessons that are there that it teaches, it's a fun read. I mean, Suzanne Collins is a great writer. I recommend, of course, this book, The Hunger Games, and even her earlier works, the Gregor book, Gregor the Overlander. That's a really good series too. Not quite as polished as her later works, but still very good. So that's the voluntary vignette for today. I hope you guys go pick up some of those books and give them a read. They've got a lot to teach and it's just a lot of fun. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what we do here, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and go over to our website where you can offer donations, request help us help people who are in need voluntarily. And we'll see you next time.